find that he was a failure. Starting with the slaughter of the innocents there in Egypt was a failure. Sarah was a failure. Isaac was a failure. Abraham was a failure. Gideon was a failure. Barak was a failure. Cowards. Samson was a womanizer. Jephthah practiced human sacrifice. Come to the New Testament. Peter was a failure. Thomas was a failure. Enough. Whenever we fail enough, we will be humbled. And when we're humble, then God can use us. Until then, God has no use for us because we are self-sufficient. We do not need Him. But then I think whenever the devil comes to being meek, if you'll read there in Numbers chapter 20, he gets kind of arrogant. And he says, must we fetch you water out of the rock? Hey, we can't do nothing, brother. We've got to have God. Then I think, we always want success. Everybody wants success. You read the Christian periodicals, and as I'd read them, they'd say, well, we had a great day at such and such church. We had blah, 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 and everything. I've never read in one of their periodicals, we had a sorry day at church, a total failure. It wasn't worth the trip. I'm thinking the crowd was down. The singers were discouraging. The sermon was a flop. And here everybody went home disappointed. Amen. But you know what? Sometimes we need to be disappointed. We need to realize that without God, we can do nothing. God records failures. Man don't like to record failures. Failure does not mean that God is finished with us. Amen. Just because we dropped the ball one time don't mean we can't get it again. Failure is a serious thing, and it kept Moses out of the promised land. It gave David's enemies great cause to blaspheme the Lord. But David was used again. And Moses was used again by God. Same song, a different verse. Amen. Same church, just a different pew. Israel forgets God's greatness, forgets God's goodness. And they say, I want water. I got to have some water. If I don't have water, I'm going to die. So Moses takes his rod, gets them together, and he speaks to the rock there in Exodus. And the rod of Moses was a powerful weapon when used the way God wanted it to be used.